Hello, this is Richard Iwanski with Revelation Real Estate, and I'm here today with Tim McKean of Family First Home Inspections.
Good morning.
Nice to see you again, Tim.
Good to see you.
So, tell us a little about yourself.
So, I actually grew up in Indiana
Okay.
and joined the Air Force, and then traveled all over the world with the Air Force. I was in the military for 10 years.
Fantastic.
Um,
Well, thank you
got
for
married.
serving us.
Well, you're welcome.
Appreciate
It
it.
was my pleasure. Got married. I had 2 kids with my first wife, and then I, went through life's changes, and now I'm married again, and she has a daughter. So I actually have 3 kids now.
All right.
All of them are
congratulations.
grown. All of them are adults. So that's really nice.
Okay. And
Yeah.
one of them works with you, right?
Yes, my son Ben, he actually works with me. He joined me about 3 years ago.
Excellent.
He cares a lot. He's got a big heart.
Yeah. I've worked with him, and he does a great job. So what made you become an inspector? Like, how long you've been an inspector?
So, as I said before, I was in the Air Force, for about 10 years. And when I got out of the Air Force, I continued to work on commercial airplanes. I've worked anything from 747s to DC-9s. And after doing that for another 10 or so years, I was ready for a career change. So I wanted to do something that I could take some of my experience from the military and working on commercial airplanes as a aircraft inspector and move it over to doing something that connected with it.
Right.
So I went into doing home inspections because as a home inspector, you have to have an eye where you can see things that are not there. And what I mean by that is you have to be looking at a home and you'll see something, it doesn't look exactly right. So you have to be experienced enough to look at it and go, that's not exactly right. And then you want to scrutinize it a little bit more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So kind of a little intuitive sense that you've gained over the years.
Yes, absolutely.
And one of the reasons I like working with you and recommending you to my home buying clients is because you're very detail oriented, and now I understand that's because inspecting airplanes, I'm sure you had to be very much on your toes.
Yes,
all the
you
time.
do. Yeah.
So it's interesting that you named it your company Family First, and that was even before Ben joined the company.
It was.
So,
Yep.
so what was your thinking behind that? Were you trying to portray a certain image? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that family should always come first. And I wanted people to think when they called Family First Home Inspections, I wanted them to feel as if they're calling another member of their family because that's how much we care.
Yeah, great. It appealed to me when I first met you.
Oh, thank you.
Give me the sense that you're looking out for the family that's going to move into the house.
Yeah, because when we inspect a house, I'm trying to inspect it as if my family was moving into it. It's for me, it's not about just getting there, getting the inspection done, getting paid, and getting out. Because I hear that all the time. From people that I do inspections for, and they're like, "Wow, you spent a lot of time with us." Last inspector we had, he did the inspection, said, "Here's the report," and he left. He didn't explain anything. He didn't, talk to them. He didn't walk them through stuff.
Right.
So, that's how we're a little different, I think, than other companies.
Why is it important to have an inspection done?
So, especially for first-time home buyers, it's really important that you get a home inspector that's willing to sit and talk with you and explain things to you, and not to worry so much about he's going to get sued because he says the wrong thing. Because there's a lot of home inspectors out there that are like that. They're so shy. I always feel like if I do my job, I don't have to worry about that. Especially when you're a first-time home buyer, I'll sit down and I will go through the report with you, and I try to explain things to you, and I go, yes, this is wrong, but it's not a big issue. It's something that may need to be addressed eventually, But the other thing is, especially like with new builds, the new builds, the houses get built so quickly that the city inspectors, they can only inspect so much. We actually did a 1-year warranty on a new build not too long ago where we found a plumbing leak behind the kitchen sink. It wasn't really evident. It comes back to that having an eye for detail. But I saw something, we investigated a little further. I was able to tell it was leaking. They called the builder in. The builder ended up spending $10,000 to fix this plumbing leak because it had been leaking so long that it had gotten mold in there. And so they had to rip out the cabinets, the countertops, so I mean, it was crazy. But the owner had called me back and he said, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I really thank you for doing your job, doing a really great job. Because, I mean, that was a $10,000 repair for the builder.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's fantastic. That would have been a nightmare if they didn't call you.
Right.
You found it later.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to add about how you might feel a little different than?
So, the thing with us is I own the company. I have one other employee who's my son, Ben, as you had mentioned earlier. My philosophy has never been about get in, get the job done, make the money and get out and get on to the next inspection.
Yeah.
My philosophy has always been I want to provide excellent service. I want to take care of the buyers. When we do an inspection, we don't do any more than 2 inspections a day. I could book more, I should say 2 inspections per inspector a day. So Ben can go off and do 2 on his own. I can do 2 on my own. Okay. But typically we work together. We do 2 a day. And that way it allows me to do the inspection, meet with the buyer, and then sit down and review stuff and walk them through the house and talk to them. And, some people are really nervous and they need a little comfort or a little reassuring. And that's something we're able to do because I don't have a boss in the background going, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah, exactly.
Do your job, get done, get out.
Get to the next one.
Because a lot of these bigger companies, that's what they're all about. And of course, I mean, that's, why they're in business. And that is their philosophy is get the job done, get on to the next inspection. That's how we're different.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I try to treat everybody like family. The other thing about it is when you're working with family first home inspections, you get my cell phone number. It comes directly to me. And I answer my phone up to about 9 o'clock at night. And I answer text until about 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night, 7 days a week. So you're not constrained by office hours, as you would be if you're working with a larger company.
Gotcha. Yeah.
East Valley's been my home for so long now, and
favorite restaurants or parks?
My son turned me on to Zeke's Pizza.
Okay.
And the reason is that they have a cauliflower crust pizza, and God, I love that. It's so good.
Yeah, we eat that sometimes.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that it was cauliflower crust,
right.
But it is nice and crunchy. It's really good.
Right.
We like to go to Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
Who doesn't like a good steak?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're a vegetarian, I guess. But yeah,
great. Well, that was a great conversation, Tim. Glad to get to know you a little bit better, and thank you for
let's keep doing it.
All right.
Thanks, Richard.